And with that strength, I will now defeat the strongest of the Imperialists!
Such poor-spirited strength cannot defeat me.
Just give me a reason to keep my heart beating. Don't worry, it's safe right here in my arms. As the world falls apart around us, all we can do is hold on, hold on.
Hello everyone, this is DT Ninja 381 here to bring you my Ruroken Restoration Act 2, Chapter number 2 review. Okay guys, a lot to cover today. Today's chapter is over the fighter, that would be Sanosuke Sagara, right? You know, the brawler. Yeah, but we're going to go into the chapter a little bit, tell you my thoughts on the chapter specifically, and then we're going to go into the first volume of Rurouni Kenshin and show you the difference between this fight and the one in the original story. So, and then throughout I'm going to be sharing with you, for one, the word of the week, a quote of the week, right? And obviously, some fact about Japan, okay? So you can learn something about Japan. And then, if you haven't already noticed, I have a special collectible that I got from this Japanese store in Korea. So it's pretty awesome. I have my own Kenshin, you know, collectible from Shonen Jump. It's pretty awesome. So that's right by me. So if you're wondering what that was, and then, towards the end, we're going to look at the Master of Flame, the Shishio story, side story. I have translated 2 pages because we're going to see the first 3 pages. Page 2 has no dialogue. So the first page, I don't know if you can even see up there, but I actually drew the pictures. I actually drew the scans of what they look like. So we're going to see the text near the end, and I have done it, I've edited onto my computer, so it's not just on these. You will see from the original manga, just in my interpretation. So let's get to the review. Alright, so the last chapter was a pretty awesome chapter. Remember, it started off with Kenshin, you know, we see his background. Like in the original we didn't see his background as much. We have the fight with Saito. I mean, that was what got me into Kenshin, like, in the first place. Like, I'm not saying I didn't watch from the first part, but when I saw the fight with Saito, you know, that flashback when he's sleeping, you know, and he remembers that flashback. I think it was episode 26 where he wakes up. That was what really got me into the story. Like, and that's how he made the first chapter last week. That was just incredible, guys. And now we have the dynamic of all of the fighters from the Revolution now coming in and going after Kenshin. And Kanryu is like their, I guess, their boss. In my opinion, the fight with Sanosuke, when he breaks down the door, you know, they're having lunch or whatever, breakfast, and he asked for a fight, you know, he asked for the Batosai. This was okay, but what really got me in this chapter was when he used the Futai no Kiwami. Futai no Kiwami, oh my gosh, when he used it to break through the entire like part of the dojo, that was awesome. I liked that. I liked how he had this ruthlessness to him. And for me, Kenshin's character is awesome in this rendition, but Sanosuke's, I don't know. Like, I like how he put the Futai no Kiwami, but I was hoping that he even knew the, I think it's the Kanami Hazushi. Do you remember the Kanami Hazushi? Right here. The Kanami Hazushi. He does it where it's like a Futai no Kiwami, but it's right into the stomach, and it knocks the wind out of Anji the Destroyer, right? The monk, the fallen monk. And that's another thing. We learned that he learned from this monk, the Anji the Destroyer, but at the same time, we don't actually see his training or anything. We don't see any background to Sanosuke himself, and that is something that I think turns off real fans of Ruroken. Now, for me, I love the history of the Sekihotai. So, like, when I didn't see that in this chapter, I was like, oh, are you kidding me? Like, how can you be missing out on one of the best parts of Sanosuke Sagara? I mean, this is what he is. This is why he wears the bad on his back, right? I mean, it is what it is. I liked how we get that match between him using the Futai no Kiwami versus Kenshin, but at the same time, there's something missing, right? You don't have the Zanbato like you did before, the horse's blade. It doesn't have the same dynamic, so you have the dynamic as if they fought after the Shishio, the Legend of Kyoto arc, but at the same time they haven't ever met. So this is kind of a little disappointing. For me, it was disappointing because I really like the history of the Sekihotai. I really like Sanosuke's character, and I was really hoping for a Kanami Hazushi from him because, I mean, that's what he did. He did that to Monk Anji, and he displayed some crazy power against him. I mean, like, willpower you can not even understand. I mean, they just kept wailing on each other for minutes on end, and it was like nobody was gonna win, and finally, he convinced Anji, that he was wrong. So, like, yeah, in this fight, it was so quick. Like, Kenshin, finally decides to draw a sword, against him, and just, it's over. It's over, I mean, I like the fact that he's so intelligent that he uses the sheath and the sword to block the Futai no Kiwami's shockwave, It just shows you the genius of Kenshin. But at the same time, I mean, come on, Sanosuke. I mean, you're not going to do other techniques. That's all you have. I don't know. I was a little disappointed. Yeah, but you guys can tell I was a little disappointed in this chapter. So overall, it was okay chapter. I'd give it a 6 out of 10. Not a bad chapter, but not a great chapter. Like I said, I like Kenshin's part in the chapter. I like the part where they're eating and, he breaks down the door. But the thing is, he was beaten too easily. There's no history behind him. So let's take a look at the not the legendary, but the fight between Kenshin and, Sanosuke, because this fight was just so awesome. I mean, like, seriously. He has the Zanbato, you guys remember? Let's see if I can find... Okay. Yeah, he pulls out the Zanbato, right? The horse's tool, to cut down horses. And if I remember, Kenshin actually is so fast that he jumps on top of it, so he can't even use it, right? He jumps on top of it. And then I believe he cuts it in half, right? Towards the end. Yeah. So, I mean, overall, I think Sanosuke's fight with Kenshin was much better in the original. Especially, I mean, we have the Sekihotai flashbacks here. Sekihotai flashbacks are incredible, guys. I mean, this is the history of Sanosuke Sagara. So, like, when we saw like the heads of you know, the people he looked up to, that just got me. I was like, yo, this guy's has a reason, you know, to be angry at the Meiji government. So like, I don't know, just for me, it was just, yeah. Anyway, this is just a little. Oh yeah, and see, look, Sanosuke going crazy there. I mean, even here, you can just look at his face. He's just so determined to win. Even, you know, just the artwork is incredible. And then finally he cuts the Zanbato, and then, you know, he finally defeats him. So, I mean, this match, and yeah, I mean, look at the decider. The decider is incredible. Look at that. And the crazy thing is, the dude is standing. He's still standing after being cut. That's just crazy. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. It doesn't compare. None of them compare, right? I mean, he's still standing. Finally, he falls over towards the end, but like, seriously. And then you have that epic quote where he tells him, Zanza, the revolution is not over yet, you know? In this Meiji era, you know, there are still many people who live in the old world. And that is why I became a wanderer, to protect those people, you know? That quote is one of my favorite quotes in Kenshin, period. And I don't know, just the history of it, it was missing. Like I said, this chapter was an okay chapter.
If you die here, do you think it's gonna bring my friend back to life? If you're alive, you can repent for what you've done. There will be a day when you'll see your family again. If you die, it's all gone.
Alright guys, so the moment you've been waiting for, Shishio's side story. Yes guys, Shishio's side story. So we're seeing her meet Shishio. Yeah, so that is just a quick look. You're going to get another look. So take a look at my preview of Shishio's Master of Flame. Master of Flame.